Hey, 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 welcome to another Valley Forged. This is a big subject. We're talking about where to get laser supplies in 2026. And I did extensive research before I made this video and kind of broke my heart a little bit. There's a lot of places that just aren't around anymore, that are going out of business or that have way tapered back on the amount they sell. So, after watching like 20 videos on the different places where people get their stuff and looking all this up, it's rough. It's rough out there. And so this is going to be a co-creative thing. Although I've done a lot of research and I'm going to give you some great ideas, I also really want you to post below your experience, not only with these places, but also, where do you get your wood? How's it working out for you? Is this something somebody else you would suggest for? And, kind of say, hey, are you a hobbyist? Is this your business? So people kind of understand why they might decide to not do what I do. Because I run a business. I have different needs and wants than other people. Consistency is something very, very important for me because I'm selling the same thing to the same people a lot of times. And it just makes a lot more sense for me to be able to just throw a piece of wood in there and know that it's going to work every single time with the settings I already have. And then I can spend more time making videos for y'all. I mean, I have like 20 or 30 videos already just ready to go. So like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. There's just so many fun things to talk about with lasers this summer, so we're going to have a good time. Now, right away, a lot of people watching this, my subscribers, are going to say, oh, you're going to talk about Craft Closet. True, but I am going to mention a lot more than that, because, again, just because something works for me doesn't mean that it's going to be right for everybody. So we're going to try and fit everybody into this video. But yes, you can see I have been a customer of Craft Closet since the end of 2022. And I do have a discount link below. I'm going to have a link below for hopefully everything that I talk about here. And so you could just jump to it and, make a thought, of what you want to do. So right away, we're going to talk about what I would say the first thing you want to do, if you can, is get local. And the reason I say that is building a relationship with somebody local. They're going to have seconds. They're, maybe after a while you get good discounts. They're going to tell you when they have something extra or something new. So if you have a mill near you, like Ventari talks about he gets his stuff from the mill. That would be so nice. I don't have any mills around me. If I did, that would be my number one. I have other like acrylic and different things where maybe I get it directly from someplace local that cuts it or that resells it, so I get it way cheaper or free a lot of times. But when it comes to lumber, I don't have that around me. So this would be look around you, see if you can't make a relationship with somebody local. And then the next best thing is a reseller. So something like where I'm showing like a Peterman lumber type of thing where they sell hardwoods in bulk. Again, a lot of times they're going to have seconds or things that they can't sell to the public that you can pick up for cheap, sometimes even for free, because they just can't do anything with it. They're going to throw it away, right? If you can't do that and you're a hobbyist and you just, looking for the best bang for your buck, it really is hard to beat the big box store like Home Depot. I could go into the reasons why the big stores are killing all the small business, and it's not quite, it's deeper than you think. On a surface level, just think how many of the 401ks in maybe even where you work, are you putting money into Vanguard, BlackRock, the people who are buying up the stock, the public stock? So every time you do that, aren't you giving more money to the big corporations? And so they just come in and eat up all the smaller ones. It's just one of the ways where it just becomes very, very difficult for a small business to survive, at least in the everywhere, because these are international companies. But the facts are the facts that people are hurting out there. And this is a very inexpensive way to get a lot of wood that you can use especially to practice on. But you can get Baltic birch or maple for $56 a box. And this is not 1 foot by 1 foot. This is 1 foot by 1 foot 7 inches maple. So, I mean, this is an incredible deal. And what you make from it, especially if you get the maple, this is going to last forever, and that's one of the things. I used to buy the ultra cheapest when I first started getting into this, the ultra cheapest backing wood or whatever you get from Home Depot. It was like $13 for a 4x8 sheet. Now, I'm sure it's way more than that now, but you could see just how cheap this looks now. It did not look like that when I made this. It looked kind of beautiful, very nice. And over time, it's just gotten this kind of orangey, like gross color to it. And you can see how much work was put into this. I was practicing seeing how you could put acrylic with wood so that it would have this sheen, and making these designs. This is all hand painted. And what a shame to have done I was learning how to do leather. So you could see this is the first, I even did it wrong. It was the first leather that I ever worked with the laser. So, but it's kind of a shame that all of that hard work went onto a piece of wood that's pretty garbage. I thought I was just practicing. I thought I was just learning. And I was, right? So really, I mean, for this kind of price, it may be worth it if you're just making some prototypes, you're learning, but maybe you're going to make stuff that you want to eventually resell or keep forever. Seems like a good way to go. Now, if you can go with the places like Craft Closet, I'm going to talk about a few others. Definitely made specifically for lasers, CO2 lasers, diode lasers. It says right on it, it lets you know, hey, this has been tested, this works. You can get the finished, not only MDF core plywood, but finished hardwoods. This has been just such a blessing for me and my business because the finishing was such a difficult part of what I was doing. Trying to keep the dust off in between finishing coats and then waiting, it takes a whole day to finish something. And now that I'm using the finished wood, it takes literally half an hour because whatever is engraved still has to be coated once, but it dries in like 15 minutes and you're done. You don't have to worry so much about the dust everywhere settling on it in one layer and then you spraying again, and it's really not the best ever. But finished wood also has its downsides. It is a little bit more expensive, and sometimes the engraves, I have to engrave it twice to get that finish off of it. So I got to make a whole video on finished versus unfinished wood, kind of going over that, and it is a little bit more expensive. So, there's that. And this is very important these days. So many of the smaller businesses like this have gone out of business, and it's disheartening and rough to see. Another one I really wanted to mention, like I said, I mean, out of the 10 that I went through to try and talk about today, like 6 of them were out of business. I mean, it's really rough. Smoky Hill Designs, though, has been around for quite a while. And a lot of you have probably used them or still use them. So comment below and let people know how you feel about it. I really love the fact that they kind of have a community on Facebook, and they've just been around, and they really seemed dedicated to lasers. And if I wasn't working and been using Craft Closet for so long and been happy with it, I would have certainly gone to Smoky Hill as my second for sure. They have a lot of different things that you can go through, so I definitely would take a look at them and see if it fits what you want to use it for, and check out the prices, obviously. Another one I found was Lasered by the Creek. They do something, a microply walnut, and I looked this up and tried to see the difference. I've never used it. Again, if you have and you've used regular MDF core plywood, let me know. How do you feel about it? Does it indeed warp more or less than regular MDF core? AI says it warps a little bit more, but can't always trust that. So yeah, just wanted you to know about that. When it comes to buying blanks and stuff, it really feels like things like Temu, Amazon, eBay, things, just places like that do seem to be the better way to go. I got to say, I typically get my stuff off Amazon or Etsy just because of convenience. I don't buy a lot of blanks. I generally make my own blanks, but sometimes it makes way more sense to buy blanks than it does to make your own. And when that happens, oftentimes, or like for my bottle opener blanks, I get those off of Amazon by the 100. And when it comes to plastic, I think that's the same deal. Is I would try to go local if you can. There are some plastic places that are, like plastic stores. Oftentimes their prices are higher than you can get them online. But there are acrylic distributors out there, and this has been what's really worked for me. When it comes to acrylic, if I go into these places and they sell them by the truckload, and I just want one sheet or a half a sheet or a quarter of a sheet, oftentimes they just give it to me, or I get it for such an insanely low price. So I would definitely try to do that if you can. Look around, see if they have, if you have any acrylic places near you that you can go visit. Vice that, of course, I get mine from Craft Closet. I'm sure a lot of these other places that I've already mentioned do it as well. I will have a lot more to say about acrylic and using CO2 laser. I have a couple on the way, and we're going to do a lot of testing and do a lot of things with that. Leather's something I literally just bought a bunch of now that I'm back from vacation, and I have no way of getting what I get for cheap. I just don't. I buy Italian leather. I love the way that it works. I love the way that it looks. Everything about it is just so much better for me than working with anything else that I've just kind of stuck to it. The only way that I've been able to save money is by buying more of it at a time. At first, I used to buy I buy mine from Rocky Mountain Leather Supply, and this is what I buy. But the panels seem to be way more expensive, and I used to buy it by the panel. And then I started getting the half hides. See if you can get up to buying the hide. It's $120, but it's already free shipping. So I always spend at least the amount to get free shipping. It's just worth it. And if you can get a half hide, 6 to 8 square feet for $120, it's quite a bit of leather, and it's going to last you a long time. So you make the purchase once. Downside is that maybe you want 3 ounce, you want 5 ounce, you want 7 ounce to do different things so that you don't have all one thickness. I typically always use 3 ounce for just about everything. So it just makes a lot of sense for me. They have so many wonderful colors. I really love the chestnut and the yellow that I work with most of the time, and maybe blue. Now, just realize the colors, a lot of times they're way darker than they look on the screen. And if you're balling, you can pick up a full hide as well. There are many cheaper leathers, many cheap other ways to go. You can put your experience below. This is just what I do. Having used a bunch of different kinds of leather and I have a full playlist of leathers and lasers that I do, and I've used a lot, and I just keep going back to it all the time, just for the ease of use and how everything always comes out great, and I don't end up staining it on accident. And so I don't really use the natural leather anymore. Now, of course, I have given instructions if you're going to use natural leather to at least put a wax on it or a finish so that when you're working with it, you don't accidentally ruin it, which is very easy to do. But if you want to get the natural stuff, Weaver Leather is probably a great place to go. Obviously, you can get stuff from Amazon or whatever. I have bought it all, and I just never bought it again because everything I made ended up just not turning out that nice to me. So there you go. But leatherette is useful for a lot of people. I personally don't really use it. I don't like to cut anything that isn't natural as much as possible. That's many exceptions to that rule. Make sure you have really good ventilation. But hat patches I usually buy already done, or I use regular leather. But there are many reasons to use leatherette, and this seems to be a great place, is Lone Star Adhesive. So you can get the leatherette with a sticky already on it, and you're ready to go. Heard a lot of great things about this place, so something to check out. That's kind of where I'm at right now. This is as much as research as I've done. I think getting real replies from real people is going to be more helpful to me. And then I'll come back towards Christmas. We'll make another video and go deeper, especially because I have so many projects in the works right now that I am going to have to be buying materials from all over the place. So I'm going to get that experience from myself, but I am probably going to learn a lot from you down below as well, and hopefully be able to purchase from some of those places and give feedback on my experience. I didn't mention Buckle Guy, although I use Rocky Mountain. They're both great. I just found that Rocky Mountain leather was in stock a lot more, and I like to be consistent. They do take a little longer to ship, but they usually had what I wanted. So I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, lasers, love them. It's a process though, a lot to learn. And questions, comments, anything like that, leave below, like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Love y'all.